Greetings. Few thoughts have occurred to me. Yesterday we had this thing about CERN being reactivated, and from a few videos I've seen, it looks like there's been a lot of anticipation, a lot of build-up to what seems to be nothing. Personally, it's almost like a feeling of a calm before a storm. The ringing in the ears, for example, seems lower down in the ear. But I wonder, when we put this into a bigger context, what really is going on? It seems very clear across social media that there is a certain amount of censorship, which begs the question of why are some things censored, or some channels are censored, other ones are not. Some of it seems to be about making connections between certain topics, shall we say, because you have this theme of connection and disconnection. Now, if you look at this material realm, the way it seems to be, shall we say, like a filtering system through education, the intellect. You've got talk of data being the biggest industry, outstripping oil. I don't know how true it is, but the implications are that data is a huge topic in itself. I just watched, or earlier on I watched True Love 2 channel video on the latest shootings. And that's a prime example of you've got a decode of what looks to be a very elaborate, very complex plan that brings in numerology, certain words or phrases, the whole choreography, the theatre show of what buildings are in the background, what names are displayed. In that particular case, you've got Central Avenue, and I think it was Second Avenue, so there's a 1 and 2 sort of reference in there. Now add into this mix, you've got the education system and filtering, trying to find the most intelligent people. I think it was Rachel Elnow who said that the control system is looking for that very top 1% of businesses, the most brilliant minds. And this seems to be something that's reflected, if you look at history, that was it Operation Paperclip, the rush to grab the most brilliant scientific minds from Nazi Germany and take them to the United States before the Russians got them, and so on. So you've got this continuous filtering going on. You've got the numerology. You've got the wordplay. Now, I'm drawn to that message in the Anunnaki story about Enki did the unthinkable, which implies not thinking or meditating or using imagination or letting your imagination take you. So what I'm suggesting is that perhaps the simplest answer to all this elaborate unraveling of these puzzle pieces may well be to do what is actually put out in terms of religion, of looking for the one. What I'm suggesting here is perhaps this entire system, as part of this diagnostic, is looking for particular minds that maybe it's just purely on an intellectual level that they can be used by the system to navigate a way through something because they've got stuck. They seem to lack creativity anyway. For the simple fact that you seem to get these repeat patterns being shown in news stories, in films, in pretty much everything. You're getting repeat patterns and sequences that look very elaborate, and yet are they that elaborate? So this whole thing with CERN, is it something to be concerned with, for example? Is part of this, and this huge data collection, all really to try and filter out, maybe looking for a channel, or it could be a post on Facebook, for example, where somebody says, I think I've cracked it. What I can see is this, this, and this, and this leads to this. And maybe that is what the system is actually looking for. Someone or a group of people, like a think tank, to try and get them out of a muddle. I still maintain that this is a diagnostic zone. It's a sort of a contained Pandora's box in which the whole idea of it is simply to test out creation, to deliberately go in the opposite way, to ensure that there is a perfection. I don't know, I'm just speculating here, just thoughts that have come to me. It comes back to the idea of where the thoughts come from as well. The ringing has changed slightly. It's gone, shall we say, up a pitch, and it seems more nearer the middle of the air. Whether it's a code, whether it's a language, I'm still open to what it actually is. It seems pretty clear from the non-events and the hysteria that preceded them. Take, for example, when the computers went back to zeros after the year 1999, there was a whole fear-mongering put out about it's the end of the world. Likewise, 2012, the end of the Aztec calendar, was another big one, and so on. But it seems to be a cashing in on something else that is spun as a fear. It seems that there is an energetic level, so maybe it is creating a power source of harvesting negative energy. But at the same time, it seems to be, as where I've described this before, you're on one side, there's a mirror, which is a reflection, which can't do anything. That reflection can't do anything without you. You have to move for that image in the mirror to move, but then there's the mirror itself in between. Maybe that is just what the dark side is. It's the opposite of the light. And it is about taking that middle path and finding that grey area between the two, and not pushing against it, but working with it. Now, maybe some of you are thinking, what am I suggesting here? Am I suggesting like making a deal with the dark side, with the controllers? Well, would that not be the unthinkable? I don't know. I'm leaving this open to your thoughts on this. But to me, it looks very much like this entire thing is, this whole construct is all about the filtering. And I mean, there's so many ways that this can be described. I can take the Neville Goddard's teachings of God became man so man can find his way back, to realise that he's just a pushed out, individual, personalised form of this energy source. And it goes back to this fluidity of thought, where in your mind you can picture anything and you can play about with it and shape, say like with the triangle, you can change it to an equilateral triangle, and you can visualize that triangle changing to an acute angled triangle or an obtuse angled triangle, or any three sides, two longer, one really short, so it becomes like a wedge. But as soon as you try and bring it into a physical form in this realm, it can only take one form. So this is why I feel that basic story of we are all fractalized versions. I mean, it says in that nursery rhyme, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty together again, but it doesn't mention whether Humpty Dumpty can put himself back together again and sit himself back on the wall. It talks about the negative of what can't be done. It doesn't tell you about what can be done. So just a few thought-provoking seeds, as it were, I suppose. I don't know the answers. The question hadn't even entered the mind half an hour ago, and I sat with it and I thought, let's just see what I can make of this. Let's have a look at the external world, what that's portraying. I mean, look at I can't think of the channel name, I'm sorry. I think it's Natalie, and I think it's Decoding the Matrix, showing you with the Disney films the elaborate things that are shown in that, same as these shooting events that True Love 2 channel shows. And I hopefully remember to put links to both the channels in the description on this. There's also the whole question of astrology. Now, I've suggested before that it works like a baby's mobile, that what is up in the sky is just a reflection of something that is being beamed up, as it were. So, in the same way you would have telegraph wires that break and hit the ground, and you can't see the electricity, but you can see the outcome when two forces, in this particular case the earthing and the electric, come into contact, and then you see the blue flash. What if that's exactly what the stars and things are? You're just seeing the interaction of an energy, say a magnetic energy, that looks to be, like everything else in this realm, looks to be solid. But then it can also see that it's all an illusion as well. So as above, so below. So yeah, that's long enough. I think 13 minutes. There's a few things to ponder over there, and like I say, I don't have the answers. I'm just putting out a few ideas. Part of it is with an intent to try and bring some calm to what can be seen and therefore felt as a negative energy and a fear. When, how many times does the boy have to cry wolf? You know, we have so many of these end of the world stories over the years, and speculations of, oh, we're all going to die, it's all doom and gloom, and yet there's also the story and the feeling and the conceptualization of eternal as well. So you have free will to choose what you want to feel from how you think and what thoughts you absorb. So I would keep that in mind and just reflect on that yin and yang symbol, and find that very thin, almost imperceptible line that separates the white from the black, but is hidden by the black. Or is it? Is it hidden in the white? I'll leave you to decide how you want to see things. It's all perspectives after all. So ta-ta for now, and love to you all.